Welcome everybody to the Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles, and I'm joined as always by Josh Lambert and Tim Johnson. Tim, we are live tonight on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. Thank you everybody for joining us. But what are we watching and talking about?
We are going to talk about a movie that came out this year, 2021.
This year.
Starring Nicolas Cage, of all people, to be in a crazy horror movie. We, tonight, are talking about Willy'S Wonderland.
Whoa. Stay. Welcome back, everybody. Tim,
Yes.
please provide us with a synopsis for this movie.
I would love to. A quiet drifter is tricked into a janitorial job at a now condemned Willy'S Wonderland. The mundane tasks suddenly become an all-out fight for survival against wave after wave of demonic animatronics. Fists fly, kicks land, titans clash, and only one side will make it out alive.
Wow. Okay. Titans clash. This movie really fucking sells it, doesn't it? Oh, man.
This movie is so silly.
But it's the kind of silly that it's fun. Like, I thought this movie was fun. I had fun watching this movie.
All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the story as it is. So we have Willy'S Wonderland. So we have Five Nights at Freddy's the movie, essentially.
Basically. Didn't they actually have in the works a real Five Nights at Freddy's?
They do. They do.
But it's almost like pointless now because they did it in this.
And they also did it in like Banana Splits the movie, which if you haven't seen, it's pretty fun actually too. But yeah, so Five Nights at Freddy's the movie. So the whole idea being is that Willy'S Wonderland was a thing. It was like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic Five Nights at Freddy's type place. And it was actually a front for like a group of people that were like killing people and sacrificing them and shit like this. It was like a satanic cult type thing. And rather than being caught by the police, they basically just like sacrificed themselves and like melded with the fucking animatronics. The place was bought, and over the years, the animatronics would come to life and kill people. And
they Charles Lee Rayed it.
They Charles Lee Rayed it. They did. It is a Chucky scenario. That is correct. And eventually, the place went into multiple ownerships, and the animatronics kept coming to life and killing people. And eventually, we lead to the Drifter, otherwise credited simply as the janitor in this fucking movie. Nicolas Cage.
He doesn't say a single word in the whole film, does he?
Not a single word. He emotes the whole fucking time. That's it.
It's some of Nicolas Cage's best acting, I'm just going to say.
Well, yeah, that's Nicolas Cage's agent went to the whoever and was like, listen, he's a high paid actor. You're paying by the word.
You're paying by the word.
I got the perfect role for him.
Yeah, you're paying by the word. Well, if he doesn't say shit, we can pay him the minimum, can't we? Yeah. No, I will admit, as far as Nicolas Cage roles go, and I mean, everybody's hiring Nicolas Cage now because they want the Nicolas Cage
craziness
and fucked up Nicolas Cage that they can get. And in this one, he literally just fucks everything up. Like he kills the animatronics, and he's what the fuck, man. It's so fucking crazy. I don't even, it's hard to explain with this movie. It's just weird. Um, the low budget nature of the movie comes through quite a bit in certain things. Like Willy's Wonderland, I always hoped would be a little bit more elaborate. It
Yeah.
really just kind of looks like they had like the one main room, and then like they filmed all the other scenes in that same fucking room, just like rearranged everything and
Yeah.
filmed it
Yeah.
out of order. So it's like they only really had that one room to work with. Um, it'd be nicer if they would have like filmed it in like a restaurant atmosphere. You know what I mean? And actually had
Yeah,
it
if you
look
would
like
have
a
seen
restaurant.
like the tables all or the chairs all up on the tables, and they had like the
Yeah.
stereotypical fucking um no, but I mean like
But this,
the kitchen and shit like that, like it just would have been cooler if it was like more of a restaurant vibe.
yeah, it didn't have a restaurant vibe. It had like a basement of the Legion vibe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
the
just put out the
Legion.
tables and chairs. It's like in the Legion. They filmed it in the Legion. So, I know they probably just, hey, we found a location. We're just going to try to make it look like a restaurant. But that's probably my biggest gripe with this movie is that I didn't believe it was a restaurant.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I knew nothing going into this. Like I've seen trailers, or not even trailers, like the poster art and all that. I've seen thumbnails of people talking about it and like the kill count and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I never watched it and never looked into it. Like, oh, Nick Cage is in another fucking horror movie, cool, right? Because Mandy, by the way, was dope. I
Yeah,
loved Mandy,
Mandy's a fucking trip, man.
dope.
It really is. I
But
love the Cheddar
this
Goblin.
Yeah. But this movie, like I said, it kind of just went under the radar for me. So I went in with no expectations, no whatever. And yeah, I thought, the setting. I wasn't watching because I didn't know what it was going to be. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
Um, but to see Nicolas Cage fuck up, you know, demonic animatronics like was great. And I like how like they set up each fight like it was almost like a old school kung fu movie. Like, do you know what I mean? Like they had their spot to have it, like the gorilla in the bathroom, or like they
Yeah.
all had like their fight scenes. Like I thought it was great.
It's like Mortal Kombat. Like, they enter
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
room
yeah,
and that
yeah.
all of a sudden that creature's there. And it's like, what the fuck? And then they get into a fight and all that shit. Yeah. Yeah. Um, the weirdest fucking thing, and I'm just going to throw this right on the fucking table before we go any further. The weirdest thing about this movie, and my second gripe about this movie. Now, I'm going to say this. I enjoyed the movie. Like, I thought it was fun. It's Nicolas Cage at his fucking corniest and most badass all in the same breath. But there are a couple of gripes. One was the restaurant didn't feel like a restaurant to me. But that's just design, whatever. Second, I thought it was a little too forced about his break times. Like the whole thing where they're like, you gotta take breaks, you gotta pace yourself and shit, right? And like somebody's getting fucking murdered and he's like beep 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 and he goes and has a fucking juice and he's
Well,
playing pinball and shit. It's like
is is the character autistic or something? Like,
it might be.
because that's what I got. Like, he was super into that pinball. Like,
He was super into that fucking
and
pinball
he didn't
shit.
say a single word, and he's just drinking this weird punch juice pop every hour on the hour.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting that they didn't go with like beer. It was just like
Well,
fucking fruit punch
they
juice.
made it very clear that it wasn't beer. Like, they did so many close-ups on it to make sure that it was very clear that it wasn't beer.
Yeah. It's very, very
Which is weird because it's a rated R movie, isn't it? Like, it's not like they were trying to avoid screening. So it was a character choice that he's drinking this like grape soda.
Yeah. And on top of that, he's actively taking those hour-long breaks. Doesn't matter if somebody's being fucking murdered in the other
Yeah.
room. I'm playing pinball and taking a break for a couple of minutes. Like, it was weird. It was weird.
He's just a man of his word.
Just to me. Man,
This place is gonna be clean.
but I almost got the picture. I almost got the picture in my head too, that when he like beat the shit out of one of the animatronics and like the fucking oil and shit was everywhere, that he would just kind of go, you know, like, I'm gonna do more work now. You know what I mean?
I
But
just
it's gotta be done. It's gotta be done.
But I do like how, like, you know, like shit would be happening and then he goes back to cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even a second
Right.
thought. Just be like, "Nah, it's over with. Just keep fucking cleaning."
Well, yeah, because he knows they're all alive and they want to kill him, but he has no interest in fighting them like all at once. He's like, no, I gotta do some cleaning, and then, you know, if one of them tries to fuck with me, I'll put him in his place. But I ain't out here trying to start fights.
What was your guys' favorite? I know this is kind of like this is. I'm trying not to get into the effects aspect of the movie yet, but what was your guys' favorite animatronic fight?
Oh,
I love the ostrich. I thought the ostrich.
I was
going to
say the ostrich one was my favorite one, especially when he's like standing at it and he's like hitting it, and like the way the rubber just kind of jelloed a little bit, and then like it blinks his head and fucking comes out of him.
It was like
just like hitting it with the
Henrietta
fucking
Goose
mop
neck.
handle.
yeah. That was probably my favorite too. Like when the thing started attacking him and he'd just like fucking slap it with the broom handle, like, you know, psh, knock it that way, psh, knock it that way, and they get into the big fucking fight. My second was actually Willy at the end, because Willy was supposed to be like, you know, the big boss character, right? And when he comes in and tears the fucking the sheriff's deputy in half, I was like, okay, that was dope.
Yeah.
And then he like comes at, you know, Nic Cage, and they get into like an all-out fist brawl too, and he's like rolling around on the ground with this fucking animatronic punching the shit out of it. It was like it was pretty dope too. But the ostrich was fun because that was like the first one.
Yeah,
it was kind of like the lead up to everything else. You know what I mean?
I just like the character.
Well,
design
and
for
it's the thing. Yeah, like Ozzy the ostrich. I liked, yeah, because I felt like some of them. Oh shit! It was the one where he took two on at once. The girl,
Pixie and the chameleon.
Yeah, I found the girl like it was like
she was also the worst of the animatronics in my opinion.
Yeah. Like I felt like, hey, we need another fight.
Well, she was like a Tinkerbell.
You know, like I just. Yeah, but it didn't look like an animatronic to me.
Too much
obviously.
skin. It was actual skin.
Just yeah. It was
like if
too
they would have put
yeah.
like a felted covering suit on her or something like that.
Something. I just that was a gripe that I have.
I agree. Josh, why don't we get into your notes? I want to hear a little bit about what you have to say about this movie.
Sure. This was my first viewing. Never even heard of it before, so it was completely in blind. November 2nd, 2021. Took place at 5:12 p.m. right before we started filming. Willy'S Wonderland. What in the Chuck E. Cheese fuck is this?
So you just watched this?
Moments ago.
Literally just finished
moments ago, I finished watching this film. Nic Cage, really? Wow. Okay. I love that the guy that picks up Nic Cage is just a straight up Boomhauer ripoff. He's like, dang old, dang old buck. And you're like, okay, what?
Pretty much.
At this point, I thought Adam was playing a trick on me. I was like, what is it exactly we are watching? The guy seems like super chill for just taking out a demonic ostrich animatronic. Like straight from the beginning, you just get this baseline of this character that just he's here to clean. He's a man of his word. He's going to get this place clean, and he kills an ostrich demon, and he's still cleaning. Nic cares about one thing and one thing only, and that's making sure this place is damn well clean, and he'll be fucked if a weasel's going to stop him. We get something that I always look for in a film, which is something completely unique to this film, and that is the urinal curve stomp.
Yep.
Never in another film have I ever heard tell of a urinal curve stomp with a gorilla, nonetheless.
Yeah, with a gorilla.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then we get him out here like patching himself up like Ricky after a Sam Squanch attack. He's like rubbing fucking duct tape all around his body. We get introduced to these like teens that are out here trying to get rid of this place. They want to burn it down. And they're all gung-ho about doing it. And this one guy, Bobby, he's like the only one out there keeping it 100. He's like, no, this is fucking dumb. You're going to die.
Yeah, pretty much. It's got a death curse.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Just a death curse.
I actually enjoyed the backstory. The, Manson combo of these cult that have, amassed. So they're mass murderers that have kind of... Willie the Weasel is kind of collecting these murderers, and they're staying here, and they trick families basically into going to this free birthday room where they just mass murder them and then hide the bodies.
Yeah,
and it's been going on in this town for a while. I thought that was a pretty neat backstory. Are we ever gonna find out what Nic Cage's fucking deal is here? He's just straight up pro at killing these demonic things, he's done it every day.
We don't know what his backstory is. It's true. He could be.
Is he a professional animatronic demon murderer? He just goes from town to town. This guy takes breaks he's working for a union. Okay, so we get a little bit of backstory about the main young lady, that her family was murdered in this Chuck E. Cheese place, and the sheriff found her. Did she completely change race? They find her and she's this little black girl, and all through the film she's like this Hispanic teen. They didn't look at all remotely. I don't know. Weird. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's, but they're truly trying to cash in on that whole thing. I know it's pretty popular. Nick is super into this pinball. He's got his little dance he does when he's playing it, and he laps the score. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but lapping the score is top tier pinballing, where you hit that 9999 and it rolls over.
Yep.
He just lays the complete beat down on Willie. And this movie is completely fucking ridiculous. I don't have a lot of notes, but that's my last note. This movie is just completely and totally ridiculous.
In a good way?
That remains to be seen, I guess. I don't know. It's a strange film, guy.
It is a strange fucking film. Well, I mean, we just came off of doing an entire series of movies, and then we did Halloween Kills, which was brand new, and then we're just kind of let's do some one-offs, and I was like, hey, Willy's Wonderland's on Netflix.
No, good. No, I was happy that you suggested this, because it was kind of I said, I never got around to watching it, and it was on my list of things to watch, and now I was I gotta watch it. I have to.
We might have to do another Nicolas Cage one, Color Out of Space later. See some Nicolas Cage in his prime, fucking yelling and screaming.
Color Out of Space was good. But if we were going to do another one, let's do Mandy.
We might have to. At one point, we'll do it.
Cage.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Let's talk about a little bit about the effects work in this movie, because we already started to talk about it, our favorite animatronics. The ostrich was my favorite of the animatronics, but Willy stood out a lot too. He was probably a very close second to me.
But yeah, I mean the Willy scene at the end, when he's beating the fuck out of him and then basically tears his face off and holding it up. I loved how they'd be dripping oil, but it was coming out like it was blood. I love that. He's just smashing it and hitting it with the bag, and I thought the effects work was pretty okay. It wasn't this a crowdfunded movie?
But it was definitely.
I read somewhere that it had a $5 million.
I'm pretty sure it was.
If that's accurate or not, but
yeah, because I know that it was I was doing a little
of the Google.
Little Googling, and little of the Googles, and yeah, it said somewhere that
it's very interesting. I'm just going to throw this out there. It's very interesting that if the movie was $5 million in crowdfunded and they were able to get Nic Cage, we have hope, gentlemen. We have hope. We can get Nic Cage for our fucking movies. That'd be amazing.
Just don't give him any
Can you
lines.
imagine?
Just don't give him any lines.
His agent's very strict on this whole $1 per word.
$1 per word thing. That's right. Yeah. No. We got to get him to say one thing. We'll pay the fucking $1.
Yeah. Just groovy.
Groovy. Yeah. No. I'll get him to say two things.
There were
He's
some weird
scream,
CG effects that were kind of jarring for me.
Like what? Like what?
I can't pin them down, but it just felt like a couple moments of Uncanny Valley where like sparks were flying and stuff that just didn't look right to me. The practical effects of the actual animatronics look really good, but in some of the combats you could tell that there was a little bit of CG added on top that didn't really look super great. But given the budget and given the fact that this movie is fucking ridiculous, I give it a pass for the most part on that.
Yeah, I mean the worst of all the effects in this movie, in my opinion, still center around the fairy animatronic, like the eyes and the mouth and the it really did feel like a, hey, we need a fifth, we need a new character. What are we gonna do? Just fucking put a mask on her. She was a stagehand or some shit. You know what I mean? Like just put a fucking mask on her and go. So I don't know. It was weird. But
Chameleon looked weird. That was super weird. I love the crocodile. The crocodile was really cool.
Crocodile was fun.
I also like the gorilla.
The gorilla seems familiar.
Well, he reminds me of those giant gorillas on like car lots that they put on like the roof of a car lot.
Oh yeah. It's like a King Kong type thing.
Gorillas. Yeah.
Buy a car. Yeah. But the effects work overall in this were okay. I mean, it's not like there was a shit ton of effects work. A lot of it was like aftermath. You see like people lying in blood and people being dragged away and splatters of blood against the wall and shit like that. The most of the effects was spent basically doing the costume work for the animatronics. The spraying of the oil, which was great, like Tim said, like the blood, and right down to I absolutely fucking laughed. Like the worst that Nic Cage got was the hit in the face.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, he peels off the fucking, thing anyway. And it's just this little mark on his face. And it's like, that's the worst he got the entire movie. So it's kind of funny. Oh, man.
He's got a pretty cool car, though.
He did have a pretty badass car in this movie, too. And it did, you know what? And I mean, that brings up a little bit more about the character, too. Because then you're thinking to yourself, that was a brand new fucking car. It was badass.
Oh, if you see him at the start of the movie with the fucking leather jacket and the glasses and like his little trimmed fucking beard, like he looks kind of badass.
But then you gotta wonder, like, who the fuck is he? How can he afford this shit? What is this guy's?
Yeah, it's just
Nicolas Cage.
Nic Cage as himself.
It's just Nicolas Cage.
Like seriously.
Pretty much.
Oh man, that'd be great.
How hilarious would that be? That'd be amazing, actually.
All right. Tim, do you have anything special for us in terms of
my time and friendship isn't
well,
special
yes,
enough.
and for the rest of the people watching and listening, of course, but I do believe it is a very particular time of the show. That very particular time is trivia time with Tim.
All right. Since you gave so much behind that, Adam, I'll fucking give her. I'll give her for you. Nicolas Cage improvised the complete pinball dance.
You're gonna say the whole movie.
That was not
sure he improvised everything.
Not Punch, the fictional energy drink Nicolas Cage drinks in the movie, has text, "A fistful of caffeine to your kisser," written on the can.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah. The screenplay was high on the Blood List, a list of highly anticipated genre scripts. Nicolas Cage produced the movie, and he was very, very, very productive over the script.
Okay.
Liv's line, "He's not trapped in there with them, they're trapped in there here with him," is obviously a reference to Rorschach from Watchmen, which was dope in that movie. I felt it kind of corny in this one, but it was okay.
Watchmen, when he's in the fucking cafeteria and he does that.
Yeah. The movie changed its name from Wally's Wonderland to Willy's Wonderland.
Okay.
Wally the Wombat.
Yeah, so according to director Kevin Lewis, the movie is a combination of Pale Rider meets Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I got to think about that.
Just think about it for a minute. Despite its similarities, this is not a Five Nights at Freddy's adaptation.
Legally, it's not. Yeah. It definitely is. But
director Kevin.
It's like going to the dollar store and buying Lego building blocks.
Lago.
Lago. The director Kevin Lewis credits Pantos Cosmatos Beyond the Black Rainbow as an inspiration for this film. Pantos also worked with Nicolas Cage on the film, guess what? Mandy.
Yeah. Good movies.
Yeah. This is Nicolas Cage's 8th horror movie. After Vampire's Kiss from 1988, The Wicker Man 2006, Season of the Witch 2011, Pay the Ghost 2015, Mom and Dad 2017, Mandy, and Color Out of Space. Prior to this movie, director Kevin Lewis had not directed a project since 2007. Of those highly rated on IMDb as of July 2020 is The Method, all the way back from 1996. Yeah. So Siren Sarah, which is the animatronic that I don't really like, is the only animatronic to be voiced by her suit performer, Jessica Graves. The other animatronics were formed and voiced by different people. Nightly Night and Artie Alligator, however, have no voice actors.
Nightly Night.
He died in the hallway.
Yeah. This is it for the trivia. This is the last one. Nicolas Cage was intrigued by the idea of making a movie without saying a word. Because in this movie, he has zero lines. And
Trivia time with them.
We've got a couple comments here in this section. Someone here mentioned this film is certainly no Mac and Me. And I'm inclined to agree. And webcams HD online, strips without clothing, followed by several hot face emojis. Just wants to get out there apparently. So yeah. Thanks for watching.
Also,
that's a lot of spam. Mac and Me? What the hell?
My silly girlfriend trying to poke the bear.
Trying to poke the bear. That's right. All right, gentlemen. I know this hasn't been a very long episode and a very long discussion, but
I just feel like you don't give this movie enough credit for being awesome, and you just want to end the conversation. And quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed, Adam. I'm a little disappointed.
Be fucking disappointed. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, act all tough right now. But once the cameras go down, the real Adam emerges.
That's when Adam cries.
He's gonna start blubbering. How dare you fucking call me out like that on live internet?
We're not friends anymore. No, I would really like to hear officially what people think about this movie, because Josh said, remains to be seen. So I'd really like Josh to kind of elaborate a little bit, give us his actual thoughts on this movie and anything else he wants to talk about, and then rate it. So Josh, please.
Normally what we do every episode. Why did you explain that?
But I want him to very much so elaborate.
I still kind of in shock on this one. I just finished it mere moments ago. It was fun. It was extremely ridiculous. I have a lot of questions about it that I guess I just shouldn't have those questions, to be honest, because it's just one of those movies you just watch and shut up. I love the animatronics. I think the practical effects are really cool. I'd like to see them a little bit more Like they were talking about how they were getting out. I'd like to see like little ostrich Scrooge get out there and just start murdering people, and that'd be funny. Like sitting around a corner and you see his big old neck come around, something like that. Yeah, something silly. Um, it's B movie cheese, and I love B movie cheese. I can't deny it. Nic Cage, I'm not the biggest fan of because he's fucking weird, but uh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I'm teetering between an R and a PG, but I'll give it a PG. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was anything breathtaking. I don't think it was anything new. It was funny. It was fun. I'll probably watch it again. It was really silly. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, Josh watched it. He liked it. I mean, Josh, I mean, think about your rules for a minute. It really did follow a lot of your rules. It's very simplistic.
Yeah, oh yeah, it did. It's not a bad movie, and I enjoyed it. It just something about it didn't seem quite where I wanted it to be.
Okay. Like it, almost like it wasn't fully realized in some way.
Yeah, I don't really, I can't speak to what exactly the issue I had with it was, because I watched the whole thing, and it's not like I was on my phone the whole time, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty quirky. Maybe a couple more of those like really brutal scenes, like the curb stomp urinal, or something just completely stupid and silly. Because there's a couple after like the first couple tassels with Nic Cage and these puppets, he's just wailing on them. He's not doing anything weird or funny or interesting. Like get him in the kitchen and stick his head in the fryer or something, or take a microphone from the front and choke him out with it. Or I don't know.
It's not like there's a possibility for a Willy'S Wonderland 2.
Yeah, the prequel.
Prequel, maybe. We just won't get Nic Cage in it. So, Tim.
Yeah.
Speak. Elaborate.
Oh, speak.
One night at Willy's.
Like a dog, he treats you.
One night at Willy's.
One night at Willy's.
Like I said earlier, I kind of went into this with no expectations. I didn't really know what it was about. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it was kind of a take on Five Nights at Freddy's. Obviously, it's not, but it's the same basic idea. And that Nicolas Cage was killing them all. It was just stupid and fucking, like Josh said, it was a B movie. And it was cheesy and goofy, and it was kind of violent against those poor animatronics, and I don't know. Like I just it's one of those movies you feel stupider for watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I will not get that time back, but that doesn't mean that time was badly spent. I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. I don't know if I'll watch it again or not, but Nicolas Cage did what I was expecting him to do. His fight scenes were kind of, the first couple were kind of well choreographed. Like, they get right stylized. Like I said earlier, it was almost like a modern kung fu movie with, he's got to take on this guy in this setting, and then he defeats them, and then goes on to the next setting.
It did feel like a kung fu movie. I'll give you that. It was fun.
Yeah. You're not gonna fucking, they're not gonna win any fucking awards for it or anything. But I thought it was fun. I had fun watching it, and yeah, I will also give it a PG. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Okay. So this was actually my second time watching the movie. I did, in fact, watch it when it first came out. It was one of those movies I was actually quite excited for originally. It was, like you said, the premise, Nic Cage versus animatronics that come alive. You know what I mean? Like, on paper, that's fucking
awesome.
Dope.
Awesome. Let's watch it.
Gold, man. Let's watch that shit. I will watch something that sells itself like that any fucking day of the week. That's what it is. And Nic Cage has spent the last few years, I mean, thinking about Nic Cage in his prime, working with like the big actors. I mean, he is a fucking big actor, right? But, like doing the multi-million-dollar fucking Hollywood movies that, people wish.
Didn't he go bankrupt like twice?
He did. Like, I don't know. He's just really bad with his money, I guess. But like there are stories of like people interviewing him on his own little private island down in the Bahamas. You know what I mean? Before he basically fucking went bankrupt and shit, and he was just whatever the case may be. Apparently he's like really actually a super nice guy in real life though, like very, very lives the fucking rich style, but you know, is kind of humble, a little eccentric, but humble. Um, I love seeing Nicolas Cage in roles like this. I loved Mandy. You know, this. I really want to see his movie Pig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, the fuck? Yet another movie like that. You know what I mean? Where he probably doesn't say much in that movie too, but it's all action and violence and Nick Cage going fucking mad. So I want to see that kind of a movie too. So the movie sells itself to me in that. It falls apart in a lot of the extra effort. It's almost like the writers and directors kind of went, all right, we got Nicolas Cage being fucking crazy Nicolas Cage that everybody expects him to be. We got these animatronics, which are badass. We got this fucking car that we borrowed from somebody, which is badass.
It's probably Nick Cage's
It's probably Nick Cage's car. But like, hey, did we remember to do this? Now we'll fucking figure it out on set. You know what I mean? There seems like a lot of that happened in this movie. And it kind of ruins some of the experience that way. But overall, you really got to turn off your brain. This movie gets talked about in all the horror movie groups. Everybody talks about it and says it's a great movie for 2021. You know, it's one of the better movies in the last couple of years. It's on the low end of that totem pole when I think about it. It's not like it's going to make a best of list for me by any means. But is it worth mentioning? Yeah, it's worth mentioning. It's fucking Nick Cage and evil animatronics. Like, what else do you really want? You know what I mean? Like, it's that's what it is. You know, bonus to the fact that it's on Netflix, you know, and you're paying for Netflix subscription, you can see this for free, right? This is rainy day fare for me. This is, I have not a lot to watch. Let's see Nick Cage be a fucking badass. That's what this is. Where do I stand on this? I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I'm going to go with the PG. It's, you know, it's not the greatest movie. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh, you need to fucking see this movie. Recommended. No, it's you know, it's pretty good. Go check it out. It's worth the watch. You know, would watch again. I did. It was the second time that I watched this movie. And there was only a couple of scenes where I was kind of a little bit bored. And it was just mainly having to do, I think, with that siren character because she was just kind of the worst of it. So
I really like the 5 kids. If they would have had some more of them, their dynamic was pretty fun.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
I really like.
And then it's
I really like.
then it's almost like their
scene.
IQs dropped. Oh yeah.
96. And they were
going way back.
Yeah, and like killing kids, and their parents.
Killing kids and shit.
Birthday party, like that's fucked up.
It is fucked up, and I like that too. But you know, more to what Josh was saying too, the kids, I like them, but as soon as they went into Willy's Wonderland, it's almost like their IQs dropped.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Because it was no longer like, we need to burn this place down. It's evil. It's all about, hey, let's go fuck in the ballroom.
Well, they had very clear character breakdowns. You are the sex maniac. You are the saucy black guy. You are the guy who's in love and fawning over the main girl. You are the hero girl. Like, they had very one line. This is what they are.
Yeah, that they did. All right. Well, I mean, that's great. We've had our kind of say on this, and you know what? It's a pretty good movie. I mean, you know, it's not like I'd be yelling it from the mountaintops for people to go see, but you know, it's rainy day affair movie. So that's about it. So I wanted to take a moment to thank everybody for tuning in to this live episode of They Cast from the Coast, checking us out. And the episodes were on Twitch, and they were on YouTube, and they were on Facebook, and they'll be shared out and everything else. And please check us out. There'll be audio copies released on all the major podcasts and platforms, including but not limited to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Music, etc. We're also on Patreon. Check us out. Open up your hearts and your wallets. That's what Tim does. And buy Tim some of that caffeinated beverage.
Sweet
nectar of life. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Josh.
I just can't get over the fact that the big boss is a weasel. Like, you got an alligator, you got a fucking gorilla, and the big tough guy, the one you don't want to mess with, he's a weasel.
He's a weasel. He's a weasel. Tim.
Stay safe and stay spooky.
Until next time, keep it creepy, everybody.
Good night.